Hello everyone, welcome to Out of Spec Reviews. I'm Ryan. Today we're not just doing a range test with a Chevy Bolt, but a comparison range test. We've got two Chevy Bolts. One of them has the new 66 kilowatt hour battery. One of them has the old 60 kilowatt hour battery. So for those who don't know, the Chevy Bolt went through a pretty serious recall because the batteries were starting to catch fire. With that recall, they eventually decided to give everyone brand new batteries. And those batteries are slightly bigger, have a little bit different charging curve. So what we're going to be doing today is doing a full range test with the old and new battery and seeing how they compare to each other.
Awesome. And I'm Max with Out of Spec Reviews, by the way. Ryan, this is your personal Bolt, right?
That's right. This is my Bolt. I own it. I've had it for about 2 years. And I've had the new battery for a few thousand miles. I got it earlier this year. It was a pretty simple, straightforward process. It took about 3 weeks from when I first picked up the phone. I was able to schedule an appointment, and then from there, it was just one day at the dealership, and I got a new battery.
That's awesome. And can you tell me a little bit about your, straight piping exhaust modifications?
Yeah, of course.
Here?
It's just a catback exhaust, nothing too serious, but I wanted to have a little bit more sound on this.
In all seriousness, it's remarkable how similar these two cars are. If you don't mind holding the camera for a second,
of course.
I'm just going to show viewers that, aside from being the same paint color, it doesn't really matter for range. These are the same trim, Premier, so they should be very similar in terms of weight. They are running, most importantly, the same tires, the OE all-season Michelin Energy Saver tires. So none of these are on winters yet, which works out perfectly. And also, thank you so much to Bradley, a friend of Out of Spec, who's loaning us his Bolt. It was kind of an amazing find that we just found someone with a Bolt, very similar spec to Ryan's car, that just happens to have that older battery. He hasn't done the service done, but hopefully he will shortly after this video, because we want to prove two things. One, not only will this newer battery hopefully not catch on fire, but also, I think, Ryan, you're going to go a little bit farther today on range.
Fingers crossed, we'll definitely see. So right now we're charging up at our DC fast chargers all the way up to 100%, getting the batteries nice and warm. We're gonna set out on the highway, go 70 miles per hour. We're gonna go next to each other, but not drafting each other, making sure that we're getting the same amount of wind drag. And then we'll just be running it all the way to empty.
Yep, and we've normalized tire pressure on these guys. Weather conditions today are not ideal, but they're not cold weather or extreme. We're looking at what, like 50 degrees?
Yep, in the 40s, 50s, very little wind. Not perfect, but pretty good, and it'll give us a really good opportunity to have a side-by-side comparison so we can directly compare.
And that comparison is the most important thing. Two very similar cars running the same range loop at the same time, same day. It's going to work out pretty well, I think. But can we take a look at the charger and see how yours is doing?
Yeah, of course. So as we know, the Bolt is not the fastest charging EV. Right now I'm at 90%, getting about 11 kilowatts, 12 kilowatts. Been here for a while, but...
I love how it says 36 hours and 55 minutes remaining.
Yeah.
Hope that's not true. It doesn't look like it will be.
No, it's all right. We'll just take a quick nap. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow and in 12 hours. My Bolt, or I should say Bradley's Bolt that we're borrowing, is basically tapering right off at 99%. This one has been holding 15 kilowatts continuous until its very end. Now it's at 4.5 kilowatts, and I should be done here very shortly. So in a minute, once this is done charging and that's done charging, we'll show the kind of, I guess, where the gasometer starts off. We'll obviously reset the trip odometers, and we'll normalize the climate. I think, what are we going to have these both at? 68?
68, cooling on, heat on, fan at level 3. So
yeah, so this is about as scientific as it gets it Out of Spec. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we can't wait to show you the difference between these two Bolts.
Here we are, a little while later, and we have finished charging. However, it finished charging saying we only had 99%. We do have a solid green light on our charging indicator, meaning that it's fully charged. So we'll unplug it and see what the car has to say for itself.
Wow, CCS unplugged on the first time. That's new.
There we go.
Alrighty.
And if we hop inside, start the car up. And it looks like it's a full battery, indicating 209 miles of range.
Nice, and that's the guessometer, right? So that range is based off driving style.
That's right.
We can see what mine says. I think mine's about 187 miles, also, of course, fully charged. So if I turn mine on, I am getting 193 miles of range. So I think percentage-wise, I can't do the math that quickly in my head, but that about works out, right?
Yeah.
To a 10% bigger battery pack.
It seems like it's pretty similar. These guessometers are very dynamic. It's totally dependent on how you were driving before. And since we were driving together, I think these are reasonable estimates.
Yeah, so let's reset our trip odometers and start our test.
Sounds great.
All right, Bradley has a 15,620 mile trip. I'm sorry, Bradley, I'm gonna end your streak today. We're going with a new trip at 0 miles. Here we are. And my average 3.9 miles a kilowatt hour, my rating went up. Do you know if the Bolt, so does it reset this efficiency estimate on a full charge?
Yes, so anytime you reset it, it will start out just saying 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and as you drive more, it'll adjust that number.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna start this back up again, just turn it off because it was making that funny key noise, but yeah, let's head out.
Let's get it started. So here we are, we're in my Bolt, and we're getting onto the highway after finishing our DC fast charge. We've got Max in his Bolt right behind us. We're doing some nice gentle accelerations up to about 70 miles per hour at the end right here. And lock it in at cruise control, and we can settle in.
My cruise control is set at 70 miles. Guessometer has us at 188 miles estimated range. We'll see what that really ends up being. But I am, tailing Ryan. Not close enough, of course, to draft, but just close enough to kind of keep us, basically doing the same thing.
So we just hopped onto I-80. There is a little bit of construction, so we've slowed down. We're going between like 55 and 60. Hopefully this will clear up in not too long. We'll keep you guys posted on it.
All right, we moved over from I-25 to I-80. We are just heading east. There's Ryan ahead in his new Bolt with that fancy battery. And I am here at currently 75% state of charge. He's probably a bit higher than me. And it's estimating on the guessometer 149 miles of range, so give or take. And then we also have an efficiency of 3.5 miles a kilowatt hour. So that's pretty good. And it looks like basically all of our energy, as you would expect, has gone to driving as opposed to highway speed. We've used just about 15 kilowatt hours and traveled over 50 miles.
Okay, I just kicked it off cruise control, and we're taking our exit right here to be turning ourselves around. We've got Max just behind us. So far, we've gone 81 miles about. Got about 65% of my battery left, and I was out in front the whole way. Max did come along. He was right behind me, but not too close, so he was not drafting. Regardless, on this way back, I'm going to be behind him, so hopefully that will cancel things out.
Right, Ryan's letting me pass, so now I'm going to take the lead position.
Okay, I just pulled over to let Max pass me.
We're going to head back west on 80, then of course get back on 25, but we're basically completing halfway of our loop. Above 50%, but we just want that safe margin. We really don't want to end up stranded. So let's head back west on 80. Okay, according to the guessometer, we have 99 miles of range remaining, and we have traveled just about 90.5 miles. So we're 55% still, according to these bars. I think that's going to dip to just about 50% very shortly here. We've used 28.2 kilowatt hours of energy. Now I'm going to call Ryan, check in, see how he's doing. Oh, there we go. I just dipped down to 50% range, 98 miles of range remaining. So let's see where Ryan's at.
Okay, everyone, here we are again. We're just past 50% and just over 100 miles. Looks like we're going to be real close to the 200-mile mark for our full range test.
We are, I think, going to actually make it back to the Wilmington charging station with basically nothing because there's high winds, so we're much less efficient on the way back here. 3.2 miles a kilowatt hour, so that's tanked quite a bit. I think we were sitting at like 3.5 on the way here, so that's gone down a bit, but I'm going to check in with Ryan, see where he's at right now.
Just crossed over to 25% battery left. This little leg right here was a little bit less efficient, but still following Max. We're a bit close here, but there's some more traffic as we're getting toward rush hour.
Okay, we're passing Wilmington, completing our loop. We're just going to switch back around on Frontage Road to be safe. So we're going to keep going south a little bit, then turn around. I'm at 27 miles of range remaining. Traveled 164.2 miles. Yeah, 27 miles left to go, supposedly. Basically a very low battery. And then if I look at energy use, I've used 48.4 kilowatt hours.
So here we are. We are in Wellington. We just passed the charger, but we've got a good bit of charge left, both Max and me. So we're going to continue southbound for a little bit before we turn back up and head back to the chargers. We'll keep you guys posted on how things going, but at the moment we're between 15 and 20%. Got about 34 miles of range predicted left.
Okay, I'm getting a warning. Charge vehicle soon. So it's starting to get mad at me. We're still at 15% on the guessometer, 21 miles of range to go, but the car is mad. I'm not noticing any loss of power. I'm still seemingly able to get what I need. I'm not pushing the limits though, not going over 100 kilowatts of output, just on Frontage Road still. But I also got this warning on the dash screen. Would you like to use low power mode to conserve energy? We're not going to do that. We're just going to keep running it.
I just ticked over to 15%. I've got a 30 miles indicated range left. I just spoke with Max. He's a little bit lower on charge than me. We're currently on the Frontage Road on the way back to the charger. We're going to see how far we can get with Max's car. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to see how far we can end up getting with this. Excited to see what the difference is between those two batteries.
We've passed Wilmington, heading back north. I just got this notification that propulsion power is reduced. I'm about 10%. It's not even giving me a range estimate now. It's at low. Ryan told me that's what happened. We'll see where he's at. I think he's a little bit ahead of me. But what I'm going to do is I have maps, so I'm going to just take the minimum range. I think I'm going to dismiss this, wait until I get to 185 miles, and then turn around on frontage. Then I should be very close to basically limping at zero at the station, and then I'm just going to do some laps around there. So I'll keep you updated on that. Oh, and in terms of energy climate usage, I should show that where we're at now. We're currently 52.6 kilowatt hours used.
We are currently on the frontage roads. We were behind Max, but he just turned around, and I actually just got my charge vehicle soon notification, meaning we're at about 10% battery. I'm doing pretty well, still saying 21 miles of range. I'm going to continue on this frontage road for a little bit longer before I turn back and try and meet up with Max, hopefully at the charger.
It's been very little time since I last left you, but I just got down to 5%. It's blinking. It's very mad at me. So I think I'm just going to turn around to be safe. We're going to start doing loops around Come and Go. I think my throttle is being a little bit reduced. So I'm going to play it super safe here because we cannot get towed out with a Rivian today.
And here we are. I have turned around now. I received my propulsion power reduced message. That's just Chevy saying I've got low battery. I think it happens around 7 or 8%. At that same time, I also lose my mile estimate. It starts flashing when I've got about 5% battery left. I'm a little less than 5 miles away from the charger, so it seems like this is all working out pretty well. Looking forward to hearing from Max, seeing how far he was able to get.
Okay, new level of charge lowness. No blinking anymore. Ryan's told me as a Bolt owner that means I should get to the gas station, to the charger stat. So that's what I'm doing. We've used 55.6 kilowatt hours of the pack, very close to that gross 60 kilowatt hours capacity. So I think we're running up basically against the reserve very shortly here. So I'm guessing we're going to cut power. 195.1 miles of distance traveled. So I think we beat the estimate just by a bit, but that's kind of because we're limping at the end here. So wow, I'm kind of impressed with the original battery. The Bolt really is pretty aggressive about letting you use most of it. Now, can I get above 35 miles an hour? I still can. So he said there's a state where it limits you below that. So I'm not quite at that stage, but I really don't want to get stranded here. So I think it's just time to tour around the Come and Go and charge point and just kind of keep doing loops, feel how that power gets reduced. Yeah.
And here we are, just turning off the frontage road. We've got pretty low battery. I'll see how much juice is left. It's quite a long, squishy pedal. Definitely can make it up the hill, but it's taking about half throttle to get there.
I seemingly can't go over like 12 miles an hour. I can maybe get to 15 if I push it. But yeah, the fact that it hasn't gone over 55.9 kilowatt hours used tells me that we're at the limit of the BMS, where it's swayed to, where the computer, the range estimator basically has no idea what's going on. There's essentially no pack voltage left. Yeah, barely moving. So I think it's time to call it that. 197.8 miles of basically usable range. For most of it, at least. The last mile maybe was a little dicey, but that was pretty good. So yeah, we stopped at 55.9 kilowatt hours of energy used to travel that distance. Not bad.
So here we are. We've been circling some frontage roads right in front of the charger. I am down to below 1%. There's no flashing light anymore. I've gone 203 miles and the charger is right there. I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to make it, but let's see. Oh, that's like half throttle. So there's not much at all left in here. So
I can't make that up. Out of energy, shut off vehicle now. That just came off. So I'm curious now if I reverse. Oh, wow. So I just, that's convenient. It's not even letting me get into drive. I'm stuck in neutral here. So park vehicle. Good thing we're at the charger.
And there we are. And there's Max and the Bolt. Pull in right next to him. And I would call that a pretty successful range test. Let's meet up with Max and figure out where things sit. Okay, so here we are. We made it back successfully. Neither of us had our cars die on the middle of the road. We made it back to our chargers and we were able to complete our range test. For my Bolt with the brand new battery, I was able to pull out. Actually, hold on. I want to double check my numbers.
Yeah, let's actually look at your screen. I'll come in the passenger seat.
Let's do it.
Oh, the coziness of DC fast charging. No worries about cabin heat. We've had a stressful last few minutes.
Yeah.
So 59.9 kilowatt hours energy pulled basically. And you were down to basically, right, that blinking status.
It was below 1%, so
below
no
1
flashing bar.
No flashing bar. Oh, right. It's back up there now because it's charging. So you were, really at the end of the pack. You traveled 203.3 miles.
That's right. A lot of that, almost all of it was on the highway going 70.
Yeah.
We pulled off with about 30 miles left. Went on the frontage roads. We were going between 45 and 65-ish. So we were able to finish it all up there.
Let's take a look at my car. So I'm in the driver's seat. If you want to join me in the passenger seat, let's see how far I went. So keep in mind, I have, the old Bolt. I have the Bolt with a 60 kilowatt hour pack. So, there we go. Let's unlock it for Ryan. So I have the Bolt with the 60 kilowatt hour pack, less battery. But let's see how far I went. Okay, once the screen boots up. Oh, looks like I just have to turn it on fully. No, we're not going in low power mode. So interesting, 55.9 kilowatt hours. So I basically use 4 kilowatt hours less than you, which is weird because 6 kilowatt hours more battery, you'd think.
It should be more. You'd think that there'd be a bit more. Another interesting thing is the difference in mileage. It's only about 5 or 6 miles difference, even though I was able to pull an extra 4 kilowatt hours.
Yeah, I will say I might have had a little bit more. I think I got down more to the ragged edge than you did. A little bit. So my last mile wasn't really a usable mile for most people's driving. I would say you could comfortably get 196 miles in this Bolt. But yeah, it was interesting. Very little difference.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by it, but now we know.
Yeah, it could just be, so it seems like maybe my guess is some conservatism on Chevy's part, using a few more kilowatt hours of reserve on that new pack. It's heavier as a car, obviously, so a little bit less efficient for that reason. And also it just, I think it's down to, I don't even know what to say.
Just variation.
Yeah.
How old the cars are, if there's been wear on it, I think that may have all played a factor, but we were able to see a small but noticeable difference in the two cars.
One thing I do want to point out, this car has not had that supposedly critical software update because we're able to charge this well over 80%. We didn't have any limitations. It charged aggressively. So luckily this Bolt hasn't caught on fire. Thank goodness, but it could. Like, this is,
Yeah.
So do get your Bolt with the new battery. At the very worst case, you're not going to lose range. You're going to gain a little bit.
Yeah. And a brand new warranty, so I'd highly recommend doing it if you're in the position to do so.
Yeah, so don't take the results of this video to imply, oh, new battery's a scam, because it's not. It's free, right? It's a new warranty.
Completely free, new warranty.
Listen to LG, listen to Chevy, listen to all the fires that happen. You don't want that to happen to your Bolt. So we're living on the ragged edge here because that's what we do it Out of Spec. But it is interesting, you know, living on that ragged edge, how close these cars in terms of real world range actually were.
For real, definitely, yeah. I was very surprised.
Yeah, so super interesting to see. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are gonna charge these guys back up enough just to get home. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and thank you, Ryan, for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for watching. And if you guys liked watching this, let us know below in the comments.